The timing of contributions matter when looking to maximise the amount of money to deposit in an SMSF. Graham Colley and Philip LaGreca from Super Concepts are with me today to discuss the difference it makes when a contribution is made. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Darren.
Good to see you, Darren.
The first question I'm going to ask is really about age limits. And if we look at timing there, how much difference does a person's age or when their birthday falls play a part with contribution strategies?
Well, Darren, depending on the age you're looking at, we're now seeing from the 1st of July an extension of the age right up until 75 for non-concessional contributions, but we've still got some limits there with concessional contributions because personal concessional contributions, you need to meet a work test after you reach age 67. So that's one limit. The timing there, if you're not going to be working after 67, will have an impact. The other side of things is that where people are looking at other concessions that may be available, the timing of maybe non-concessional contributions and the timing of maybe downsizer contributions can be important, because with downsizer contributions, you don't have any thresholds applying when you're making those contributions. But for non-concessional contributions, that timing there of when the contributions are made certainly may limit your access to the bring forward rule, or even access to making any non-concessional contributions to the superannuation fund at all. So they're really important. That's basically the timing of when the contributions are made over the statutory side of things. When you reach a particular age or you're not working, that's got a different taint on it as compared to the actual timing of those contributions being made to the fund.
Now, the downsizer rules and the downsizer contributions have been very popular since their inception, but timing is crucial with this strategy. What are some of the parameters that need to be obeyed there?
Well, the first one, I suppose, is qualifying for the downsizer contribution. Not only does it relate to a house that qualifies as your main residence, from the 1st of July this year, you'll be looking at whether you're age 60 or older, whereas up until that time, it's now age 65. So that's one qualification. The other is the timing of the actual settlement of the property, because in those cases, you've got 90 days to be able to make the downsizer contribution and make the election associated with that. So that in some cases, if the 90-day period falls into the next financial year, maybe the 90 days is up in July, then maybe in those circumstances, it may be better to do the downsizer contribution in the next financial year, that is after the 1st of July, because that means that your total super balance as at the 30th of June, I beg your pardon, will be less than if you had made those downsizer contributions that little bit earlier. So they're just some of the examples of how timing with downsizer contributions is really important.
Now, Graham, you just mentioned the total super balance threshold and the effect that that can have when we're talking about downsizer, but it can also have an influence on the timing of other contributions as well, can't it?
Oh, most certainly. Non-concessional contributions is a good example, because if you're making those at the beginning of the next year, it may allow you to qualify for other thresholds that apply. So you might be able to put, say, $330,000 into the fund early in the next financial year, rather than if you were to put an amount in earlier at the end of the last financial year, because that might push you into the next threshold, and it might mean that you may be limited in the amount of non-concessional contributions you can make in the next year, or maybe even qualify for co-contributions and so on. So that timing's important. It also has an impact on lodgement of returns in relation to transfer balance cap and total super balance information as well. So, yeah, that threshold there, the 30th of June, and also the amounts is really important in relation to that.
Now, Philip, if I can direct this question at you, one powerful strategy that's been around for a long time is when a contribution reserve is used. What are the timing considerations with that?
Well, I think the first thing we have to acknowledge is it's not actually a reserve. The ATO's made that abundantly clear in several documents of their own. What it really means is that the fund has received an amount, but it hasn't allocated it to a member. And so what the process is that you have to have the contribution allocated within 28 days after the end of the month in which it's received. Now, most of the year, that really doesn't help strategically. It can have some benefits if the contribution is made in June, because then it is possible that the contribution might be allocated into next year. And that obviously then has some impact to things like which cap it will count towards, because caps count contributions when they're allocated, not when they're made.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Graham and Philip, for examining some of these issues with me today. Graham and Philip will be discussing these points in more detail at the Self-Managed Super SMSF Professionals Day for 2022, and it's to be held on the 31st of May. If you want to register for the event or find out a little bit more about it, please reference the details you can see on your screen now. Thanks again, gentlemen, and I can't wait to host the Professionals Day with you again in May.